Hello, gentlemen, barbarians, savages, Rooster here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about another MGTOW topic that I've been wanting to make a video about called the red pill. And specifically, there's been a lot of videos done about the red pill, but I want to talk about something that I call the time release red pill. The time release red pill. It's kind of a different way to approach the red pill philosophy that a lot of men get to. Now, I've been watching a lot of these MGTOW videos for the last 2 or 3 years, and I really like them. But you'll notice that there's a theme that goes along with a lot of this stuff, and it's usually that guys come around to this red pill philosophy in their middle to late 30s, early 40s, and sometimes even in their 50s. And it's usually an epiphany type moment where everything happens all at once and the big light bulb goes off in their head and they're like, oh my God, I have seen the light and now I understand what happened. And it usually comes after a big marriage, divorce, some life-changing event, and dealing with females and female nature that causes them to change their behavior. And that's kind of what I call, just like in the movie The Matrix, when Morpheus gives Neo the option to take the pill. You take the pill and it immediately affects you. But there's another aspect, and this is kind of the road that I took, was the time release methodology. Now, usually men, when they go through their life, they go through about 6 different stages in dealing with women. And, they start out in high school and they just date, and they date a different chick every week. And they go through half of the high school, and it's very light and friendly, and they have a lot of fun. Then they get to college or whatever, or in their late teens, after high school, and they it's all drinks and one night stands and no real commitment or anything like that. And then you move to like what used to be called dinner and a movie. Now it's Netflix and chill. And then so that's kind of the 3 bottom stages, and then you move into the higher level stages, which is kind of like the your house, my house kind of thing. Your apartment, my apartment. You hang out for a couple days over there. She comes over for the weekend or something like that. Then when you get into maybe your mid 20s or late 20s, and you get a house or something like that, or you get a big apartment or a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment, you start getting live-ins. And then usually men in their late 20s, around 30, and it's not the men that want to get married at that age. It's when the women's clock starts ticking. You move from the live-ins to the marriage. So you go up the steps, right? Just dating, Netflix and chill, one night stands, your house, my house, live-ins, marriage. Boom, 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 up the steps. And then big divorce, and then red pill, right? That's the classic methodology that people become MGTOW. I did it exactly the opposite, and that's what I want to talk about, is the time release red pill. I got married to my high school sweetheart right out of high school. Boom. Was with her all through high school. My main squeeze, everything like that. Immediately after high school, got married. So I'm already at the highest step. By the time I was 22, I was already saying this. I was 22 years old, just a young kid. I said, if I ever get divorced, I will never get married again. So at the young age of 22, I already knew that there was no way I was going to get married again if I ever got divorced. Sure enough, about a year later, I got divorced. So, and I want to talk about the financial aspects of that. I lost a lot of money. I paid for a college degree. I paid for my college degree. I paid for her college degree. Lost a house. Lost tons of investments. Mutual fund, had to give her half. Lost a brand new car. Ended up riding a motorcycle while I was finishing up college. Gave her a brand new car. The big lump that hit me was about $250K. Okay? So that was the big chunk. So I'm looking at right there just the resources that cause you to go to red pill or losing the resources. $250K by the age of 22 already, right? So what did I learn from that? I learned, boom, a little bit of red pill came out, a little bit of that time release came out, and I was like, I'm not ever getting married again. Now, for the next 15 or 20 years, the women that I dated and stuff like that, they never knew that that was in my head, but that was definitely in my head. I'm never getting married again. I didn't tell them that, but so then I moved to the next stage. I was comfortable with intimacy, didn't have a problem really with women, and could move very quickly, and I was a great beta male provider, had a lot of money, all that stuff. So I went right to live-ins. So the next probably 3 or 4 girlfriends that I had over the next 5 to 8 years were like date for 3 weeks to 6 weeks and boom, move them in. Just like a wife, except I'm not ever getting married. Cook, clean, do whatever. What did I learn from that? Well, I paid for another college degree. Almost had to pay for another master's degree. I paid car payments. I gave jewelry. I gave free freaking rent because I was used to being a beta male provider for my wife. It just seemed like that was my job. That was my tool. So I had girlfriends that they loved me. They lived with me for free. And I paid their freaking car payments sometimes and their car insurance. Okay? Now, like I said, I did that for probably 5 to 8 years. Got into my later 20s and then had a bad breakup with one. And I remember this distinctly when I finally booted that last one out, the last live-in that I lived with. The next month, I had $1,500 of free, unspendable money. I had been controlled so much and into her dream and what she wanted and paying for her shit that the next month after she moved out, I had $1,500. And the next month after that, I had another $1,500. And the next month after that, I had another $1,500. So she was, as a living, was costing me $1,500 a month that I could spend on golf, beer, my shit that I wanted to do. I was spending that all on her, right? So what lesson did I learn from that? The next thing down. Don't pay their rent for them. Don't pay their bills for them. Okay? That little stint of about 5 to 8 years cost me $150K. So what are we up to now? $400,000? I'm not even 30 yet. Okay? So a little bit more of the red pill tablet comes out. But I'm learning. I'm learning as I'm going through life, right? So the next couple years, probably 4 to 6 years, I start playing the game, your house, my house. I meet a lot of these girls. By then, by your late 20s, you probably owned your first house by now. You bought it, you got a mortgage, stuff like that. And the women do too. The women that I dated, the single, successful women with no kids, which is what I wanted to date and hang out with, they all had their own houses. They had nice professional jobs. And I did too. So you play this game, your house, my house. I come over on Wednesday night. I stay, hang out, go to dinner, see a movie, do whatever, hang out at the house, stay over on Wednesday. I leave from your house to go to work Thursday morning. And then Saturday and Sunday, you come over and hang out for the weekend with me. And I did that for, probably 6 years with, 5 or 6 different women, right? Now, what did I learn from that? Okay, I probably spent $35,000 in that section, right? Giving them stuff, leaving stuff at their house, break up. I know I lost a $7,500 guitar that I left at some chick's house that she pawned after we broke up, vacations that I paid for to Europe, vacations to France, vacations to Britain, scuba diving vacations to Key West, Turks and Caicos. 3 girls I put through scuba diving school that I paid. I wasn't paying for colleges anymore, but at that time scuba diving was my thing. I loved scuba diving. I loved golf. Okay? And I put 3 different women through scuba classes so that by the end of the year I could go on my scuba vacation with them. And I paid for it. And I paid for the vacation. And I paid for their equipment and all that stuff. So over those 6 years, another $35K out of my pocket to support these women. So what did I learn from that? Don't do it. Don't give them stuff. Don't pay for their stuff. Don't buy them skill sets that you think that they're going to use. None of those women even talk to me anymore. Okay? Now, that's the top 3. I went through those top 3. And as you can see, those 3 are LTRs and marriages, right? And those are going to cost you the most amount of money, and those are going to give you the most red pill feeling when they break up and stuff like that, right? But as you can see, as your interactions with women decrease through these stages, your purpose as a man increases. And that's an ongoing theme in your life you'll realize as you become a MGTOW. As your interactions with women decrease on a daily basis, your individual purpose as a man increases. Because they distract you, they suck resources from you like a vampire, and you can't, as much as you think you can multitask, you can't follow someone else's dream and your dream at the same time. You have to pick one or the other. And women are really, really good at convincing you that their dream is the way to go. And you can see it out in our society everywhere. There's a lot of women's dreams that are being fulfilled. There's a lot of babies being born. But you don't see a lot of millionaire men that retire in their 40s and play golf every day or go fishing every day. You just don't see it because they can't find their purpose. If you don't find your purpose as a man, a woman will substitute her purpose for yours. But the theme that I'm trying to get across to you is that as your interactions reduce with women, your purpose as a man can increase. Now, what are the next 3 that I went through? I went right from your house, my house, to just doing dates. I'm like, I'm not going to stay over, anything like that. No more weekends. Just go on dates, get laid, get out of there, right? So I figured over the next, probably 5 years into my mid-30s, I probably spent $10K on dates, movies, and stuff like that. So the money's going down too. You see, the marriage was $250,000 to get out of that. But when you're just dating, it doesn't cost you a lot for dinners and movies. You can do that all day long and still get laid. What was the next step after that? I couldn't even deal with the dates thing anymore. So I just started doing like the one-night stands. You do the one-night stands, you don't even have to ask women out. You don't have to have the little black book. You don't have to you just go to the bar and wait. And you're like a predator. You just buy them drinks, pick them up. And all you're spending money on is drinks then. So, as I moved into my 40s, that's all I bought. I used to say to women, I said, the most you're going to get out of me is a pizza and a 40-ouncer. Right? And now they have this thing called Netflix and chill, which is the old version of let's get drunk and screw. And that's all it is. And that's what women have become to me now. They've become utility and entertainment. That's it. Anything else is a distraction. Anything else that a woman tries to get her claws into my life becomes a distraction and it takes away from my life. So I want to talk about the top 3: marriage, live-ins, your house, my house. Those are all LTRs, okay? And those are all high commitment, and those are all high interaction, right? And then the bottom three, dates, one night stands, and Netflix and chill, are all using women as utility and entertainment. If a woman can entertain me, yeah, I'll hang out with her. I'll buy her drinks. She makes me laugh, something like that. She's good in bed. Awesome. That's it. That's as far as it's going to go, right? I'm going to use them for utility and entertainment. Now, why do I do those two splits? Because right down the middle there, if you're a young guy right now, or an older guy, or whatever, and if you're trying to figure out if you're a blue pill guy, if you're a purple pill guy, or if you're a red pill guy, right? You're kind of trying to determine. You're not a MGTOW monk. You still you still have to deal with women. You still like banging women once in a while. You haven't completely shunned them out of your life. You want to know where you stand on the spectrum. Ask yourself this question. What do you need a woman for? Do you want to be in a marriage? Do you want to have a live-in? Do you want to do your house, my house? Or do you just want to have women for utility and entertainment? That is really the cutoff. When women become utility for sex and entertainment for you, that is when you really are on the purple pill heading to the red pill. That's when the full effects of the time-release red pill are really starting to affect you, right? If you're a MGTOW monk, if you don't deal with women, if you don't talk to women, if you don't have sex with women, if you don't allow them in your life at all, you're definitely very, very red pill. But that's a very, very small percentage. That's probably 1/10 of 1% of MGTOWs out there are MGTOW monks. Most MGTOWs are slightly purple pill, and they still have to deal with women. At the very least, you have to deal with them at work, right? At the grocery store, stuff like that. So, what's my point in all of this? You can get to being a MGTOW not in the regular way where you go up the steps, but you can go down the steps like I did in a time-release fashion. And I think what happens is, and I believe this, I think all men, by the time they get to about 35, start saying to themselves, man, there is something wrong with our society. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm playing all the games. I'm doing everything right. And it's not turning out the way it's supposed to on these romantic comedies and all of this stuff. And we're convinced. But I think all guys have a gleaming in their brain by the time they're 35. And I think by the time they're 45, they know what's up. I think by the time you're 45, you know what's up. Now, you might not be able to get out of it. You might be stuck in a marriage with 5 kids and a mortgage by the time you're 45, and there's no way you can be a man going your own way unless you plan to dump out a lot of money to get rid of her, and for not much real benefit. But that's the idea. They click you in early, and you don't realize what's going on until you're 45, and over 2/3 of your life might be over by the time you're 45 years old, and you've lived for her dreams the whole time. So what that brings us to is when that realization comes around, and like I said, my realization was little bits at a time, little learning, little learned behaviors, not getting married again, not buying them stuff, not paying for their rent, or all of these different things. When I finally got to the point where you're going to get a pizza and a 40-ouncer out of me, and that's it. That's the most resources that I'm going to give up. Because that's what your pussy's worth to me, is a 40-ouncer and a pizza. Half a pizza, because I'm going to eat half the pizza myself. So then what comes is what's called the red pill rage. Now, the red pill rage is a very specific thing. When that light goes off and you realize that all of the stuff around you, all the gynocentrism and female nature, you have been the mark, so to speak, right? In the hustle. And you've been self-deluding yourself, and you've been in denial all this stuff for 45 years. You get really pissed off. And I think that's why a lot of people go MGTOW after the big marriage and divorce. When you have the time release, like I did over years and years and years and years, it's a kind of a slow building, stewing crock pot of red pill rage. And it's easy. It's an easier level of acceptance. You know, you just get to a point where you go, it is what it is. That's the way our society is. That's the way it works. And there's a little bit of rage in there, but you don't have the big popping rage like a lot of the MGTOWs do when they, you know, you get divorced at 55 and you've invested 30 years in this woman and she takes you for 2.5 or $3 million. That's a lot. That's a lot to take, man. And the culture shock of going out into the single world after that is going to be just devastating. And that's why a lot of guys end up killing themselves after they get divorced, lose their kids and stuff like that. But that's a different subject. You know, the important thing is that you realize you're not woman haters. MGTOWs are not woman haters. We don't hate women. We just realize what you're up to. You know, we've been enlightened to how the system works. And we're turning back on our reason. You know, we're turning our rational brains back on. We're turning the lizard brain off. The other big thing about the red pill rage is it's not just the women, but you realize that the gynocentric religion that's out there is really strong. The blue pill is all around you, and just because you've been woken up and you can see the light for what it is, doesn't mean the court system and the judges and the lawyers and the cops and the brother-in-laws and the father-in-laws, they're still blue pill. And they're going to stick together like glue. They're going to hold on to their traditional values. And like I said, that programming in the blue pill society, just like how it was hard for you to break out of it, and it took all of these things and these big events for you to break out and become red pill, they're still in that, and they're still clinging on to that because nothing's happened to them. And I think a lot of guys run into this idea where, you know, they're in this huge wrestling match with societal conditioning and they want to win the wrestling match. You can't wrestle everybody out there. You can mention it. You can bring up the red pill ideas and philosophy at parties, social greetings and stuff like that. Chances are you're going to get some nods, but if you go into too much depth or you start challenging the gynocentric religion, you're going to have policemen, you're going to have social policemen all around you trying to crush you back down and say, you know, you can't do that. You can't say stuff like that. You know, I got a wife. You can't be saying that stuff out loud, right? So, how do you give up the mystical thinking, and how do you express yourself after you've had this red pill thing? Without getting policed and being, you know, having brother-in-laws and stuff like that coming around and telling you can't talk like that. I think what I have found after broaching the subject many times with a lot of blue pill people, women and men, is the best thing to do is, like I said earlier, by the time most men are 35, they know something's going on, and by the time they're 45, they're ready to see the light. But don't force feed anybody the red pill, because if you force feed it, it's gonna breed contempt. The red pill will find men. If you're watching this video, you sought out this video. The red pill came to find you, right? You don't have to be a minister. You don't have to stand on a soapbox, even though that's exactly what I'm doing right here, stand on a soapbox. And say this stuff. Men that are ready to hear this, the red pill will find them. Okay? So don't force it. I think that's about it. I can do a quick summary review. This video is basically about the time release red pill, and it's basically my journey to the red pill and how you can go down the steps from marriage down to Netflix and chill, or you can go up the steps from Netflix and chill to being married for 30 years and then taking the red pill at 50. But the important thing to know is that whether you take the big pill or you take the time release capsule, all men get there eventually. If they're intelligent enough, if they're self-aware enough, and if they have enough situational awareness of society and stuff like that, they will get there and they will come to an understanding. And then the second part, or the second of three parts of this, is you have the top three and the bottom three interactions with women, right? You want to get to limit yourself to the bottom three interactions. The lower your interactions with women, the higher your purpose as a man you can attain, because they're not taking your energy. And my belief personally is you want to get to a point as quickly in your life where women are not a distraction for you in any way, and you use them for utility and entertainment. Just like your TV. You use it to kill some time, to entertain you, but you're not going to stay home and not go to work in the morning to watch TV, right? So don't quit your job or lose your job or move or do anything crazy for a woman. Don't do it. We just added that little tidbit on there. Women are for utility and entertainment only, okay? And then the third thing is, don't force the red pill on anybody. If they're looking for it, they will find it. They will find the red pill. The red pill is looking for them. Okay? So that's all I have about the time release red pill. If you have any comments or questions or anything about it, feel free to put it down in the comments section. I love dissent. I love hearing about it. And as always, take it easy.